Well, good morning, y'all. Glad to have y'all back with us. This is Brian, the Piedmont Gardener, and we're out here on Saturday, and I don't know if y'all can tell, but it is really overcast. And set that coffee down. It's real overcast, and I think it's going to rain this afternoon. Yeah, that's what they're calling for anyway. We'll see. But you can feel it there, so it's coming. I feel like we're going to get some. We'll just have to see how much. But anyway, it's April the 10th. And around here in my area, that is 5 days before the last average frost date. As far as average frost dates go, that's the average, as long as they've been keeping record for this part of the country. April the 15th. But it's been pretty warm this spring, and it's been pretty moist. Y'all have to excuse Ruckus. He's always out here with us and always upset about something. But anyway, back to what we were saying. So I'm going to take a chance and put some of my crops in the ground. Now, I'm not going to plant tomatoes, peppers, or anything like that. What we're going to plant today is beans, green beans. Let me show you what we've got. I've got a bag of beans here, and I'm sure y'all can see them. But that bean is a contender. Last year I planted these beans and had a pretty wet spring. I did like the bean. Pretty good flavor. The one reason that I've been trying to plant some of these contenders is because they're more of a bush bean. They have some runner on them, but it's very little, and I don't have to stake them up, so we've been trying that. But I'm going to plant these contenders, and this year, what I'm going to do, I'm going to put them on a hill. I've took the tractor, you can see it behind me. I've got my hillers or hippers, whatever you want to call them, on there, and I've made me a little furrow out through there, a little hill, and I'm going to put a furrow on top of that, and that way those beans will be up just a little bit out of the, well, there'll be 2 ditches on the side down through there, and that'll keep the water away from the roots. The garden, both of my gardens, but this one in particular, it runs east and west, and the drainage for this part of the property runs north to south. So I can get pockets of water in the garden when it rains real high. Well, last year I planted these contenders, and now I normally plant State Fair half runner, and it's always done real good around here. I think most of the people in this area plant that bean, and it's a good bean. One of my favorite, got the best flavor. But you have to tie it up, string it up, build a fence, because that bean's going to run all over. And unless you just want your beans laying in the mud, you're going to have to get them up off the ground. This contender bean, I'm trying it because I'd like to get away from doing so much staking. That's just extra work that I have to do. And of course, when you get done at the end of the year, you've got to take that stuff back down. So let's get out here in the garden. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do to plant these beans and try to get them off to a good start. Because like I said, last year it's so wet and damp in the springtime. I had a lot of problem with these beans. Root rot. They'd come up, be a pretty decent looking little bean, and in the wetter areas they'd root rot and die. In some of the even damper areas, I think the seed just rotted in the ground. So let's walk out the garden. I'll show you what we're going to do. A little cloudy, but it is a beautiful morning. Now, if you'll take a look, just to the left right here is my cabbage and my broccoli. and we've had them started for a while. And then up here you can see, well, you may be able to see, the potatoes are just starting to break the ground. But down below that cabbage, I've healed up a row all the way out through there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to plant my beans on that hill, and we'll try to avoid the root rot and see if we can't get a good stand of beans. Now what I've got here is some fertilizer. It's just a 13, I believe. And I'm going to dress the top of this hill, this row, and work it in a little bit. Give these beans a good start. I'm going to put a little pre-plant fertilizer in here, and that way when they come up, they'll have just a little extra jolt to get them off to a real good start. What I'm going to do, I'm going to just sprinkle it in. I'm going to put about half a cup, 3/4 of a cup for every 50 foot of row. Not a whole lot of fertilizer, but just a little something to get them going. Next thing we're going to do, I'm going to take my hoe and we're going to draw a little furrow. You can see there's a little bit of one there just made by the tractor, but we're going to draw a little bit of a furrow out through that row to plant our seed in. At the same time as I'm drawing that hoe through that furrow, I'm going to mix in the fertilizer. Take your hoe, I'm going to put it just like that, and draw me just a little even row. Alright, we got our fertilizer in, we got our furrow. All we got to do now is drop in the seed. I'll drop my seed in, and I'm going to space them about 4 inches apart. And I probably won't be perfect, but I'm going to try to get them pretty close to 4 inches apart. Some of them might be 6. I'm sure I'll get a couple of them too close. I don't want to have to thin these out, but we can if we have to. I don't have one of them fancy bean planters, but if you got one, I'd use it. I'm just going to drop them in by hand. Where the grandma run. I don't know, I might get me one of them push planters. All right, now we got all our seeds all the way down that road. They're just laid in that furrow. Let me show you what we're going to do next to get these beans ready to come up. All right, we're going to take the hoe here, and what I like to do is just firm down my beans just a little bit. I'm going to take that hoe and run all the way down through there. And all I'm trying to do is make sure that the seed has good contact with the soil. There's not an air pocket or something in there that prevents it from sprouting. And then I'm going to take some of this fresh dirt that's right over here, and I'm going to put a little dirt on top of them beans. How much dirt should I put on top of the beans? Well, if the bean seed is about a 1/2 inch long, we're going to put a 1/2 inch of dirt on top of it. That's my rule of thumb on everything. Little bitty tiny mustard seed, you don't even have to put no dirt on. But a bean seed, about a 1/2 inch long, let's put about a 1/2 inch of dirt on it. That'll be just fine. Take and drag your dirt, put it on top of it. Tamp it down just like that. Well, all right. We got our beans planted, and we're going to wait on the good Lord to water them in. A lot of crops, a lot of small
you know, stuff that's easy to water, we'll water in with a hose or a can. But a long row garden like this, I try to time my planting to where there's going to be some moisture. Like I told you earlier in the video, it's supposed to rain after a while, so they'll get watered in, they're fertilized, they're ready to go. Probably in 5 to 7 days I'll start seeing bean, and then in about 90 days I'll be picking beans. We'll be canning them, putting them up. So get out in the garden, enjoy yourself, have a good time. Just take your time. It takes a while to plant a row like that, but just take your time and enjoy it. It's good for you. Get you some exercise, and good for your mental health too. You know, not one time while I was out there planting them beans, I worried what everybody else was doing, like so many people do today. They worry themselves sick about everybody else. But get out in the garden and plant you some food. Enjoy your life. Until next time, this is Brian, the Piedmont Gardener. Y'all have a good day.